Have you ever looked at someone successful and thought, how did they get there? Maybe you've seen people on social media living their dream lives, or maybe you know someone who's climbed the ladder in their career or business. And deep down, there's that little voice asking, what's their secret? Well, I'll let you in on a little truth. There's no big, flashy secret. Success doesn't just fall into your lap, but it also isn't as hard to attain as you might think. I know it can feel overwhelming, especially when you're not sure where to start or you're stuck in that phase where it feels like you're doing everything right, but nothing's moving forward. Trust me, I've been there. In today's video, I'm going to share 3 simple things I did that helped me go from feeling stuck to building real momentum toward my goals. These aren't magic tricks or secret formulas. These are everyday habits and mindsets that can make a huge difference when it comes to creating lasting success. First, I'll tell you a little bit about where I started. Because I wasn't always successful, and for a long time, I had no idea what I was doing. The first step I took was making a shift in how I thought about my time. Now, I know this might sound like some motivational cliche, but stick with me. It's actually the first real change that had the power to flip everything around. See, before I got serious about building my success, I had this habit of spending my time reactively. I'd scroll through social media, check my email for hours, and let the day slip by without accomplishing anything meaningful. I was busy, sure, but I wasn't being productive. Here's the key point. Your time is your most valuable asset. It's one thing I can't get more of, and neither can you. Yet so many people waste it like they have an infinite supply. I was caught in that trap too, and when I finally realized that, it was a game changer. So the first step to becoming successful was deciding to take full responsibility for my time. No more letting my day get hijacked by distractions. I started blocking out my time in focused chunks and making sure I was doing things that aligned with my long-term goals. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've heard this before. Time management, blah, blah, blah. But let me tell you, this was a huge turning point for me because I had to get intentional. I didn't just want to be busy. I wanted to be productive. I wanted to do things that actually moved the needle in my life and business. And trust me, when you start being intentional with your time, you'll quickly see how much more you're capable of. But here's the trick. Being productive doesn't mean working 24/7. It's about doing the right things with the right focus in the right amounts of time. It's about being smart with your energy and your attention. That's how success begins. I also started to let go of the busy culture I'd been taught. You know, the idea that you're only successful if you're always working or hustling. That's a myth. Success doesn't come from burning yourself out. It comes from being strategic with your efforts. And that is where the real growth starts. So if you're feeling stuck or like success is a far-off dream, ask yourself, how are you spending your time right now? Are you making the most of it? If not, that's the first place to look. And it's something anyone can change with a little focus and planning. All right, so now that we've covered how important it is to take control of your time, let's move on to the second big change I made. This one is probably going to sound like a no-brainer, but hear me out. It's about mindset. For a long time, I had a mindset that kept me in the same place. It was the I'll try, but I'm not sure it's going to work mindset. You know what I mean? It was like I was waiting for permission to be successful or for the perfect moment to arrive. And let me tell you, that moment never came. When I finally stopped waiting for everything to be perfect and started taking action anyway, that's when the magic happened. But the key part here is this. I had to shift from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. If you've heard of the terms fixed mindset and growth mindset before, you might already have an idea of where I'm going with this. A fixed mindset is the belief that your abilities and intelligence are fixed. Basically, you either have it or you don't. But a growth mindset is the belief that your abilities can be developed over time through hard work, learning, and perseverance. This is where the magic really starts. Once I realized that I wasn't stuck with my current level of knowledge or skill, everything opened up. I could learn, I could fail, and still move forward. I could take risks and know that I wasn't locked into one path. That mentality alone freed me from a lot of self-imposed limits. Now I know it's not always easy to shift your mindset, especially if you've been stuck in a fixed way of thinking for a long time. You may have those doubts in the back of your head. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? Trust me, I get it. But here's the thing, failure isn't the enemy, it's part of the process. It's feedback, and it's only a failure if you let it stop you. For example, when I started making videos and putting myself out there, I was terrified of messing up. I thought, what if no one watches? What if I say something stupid? But I kept going. And you know what happened? Sure, I messed up, more than once. But every time I messed up, I learned. And little by little, I improved. And every time I improved, I got closer to my goals. This may seem obvious, but consistency is a game changer. Without it, all the good intentions in the world mean nothing. I learned that showing up day after day, even when I didn't feel like it, was the key to making real progress. It wasn't about waiting for motivation to strike. It was about creating a habit and sticking to it, no matter how I felt. Some days I didn't want to work. Some days I felt burnout, but I showed up anyway. And it was those consistent small actions that compounded over time and led to big results. It's like the analogy of the snowball rolling downhill. At first it's small, and it seems like it's not doing much. But the longer it rolls, the bigger it gets. And before you know it, it's massive. That's what consistency does for your goals. When I made consistency a part of my daily routine, I started to see the long-term rewards. And trust me, that's where the real progress happens. So if you're looking to level up, start showing up consistently, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Keep going, and before you know it, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. All right, we've covered two huge elements: taking control of your time and shifting to a growth mindset, as well as the game-changing power of consistency. Now let's talk about the final piece of the puzzle, the one that really tied everything together for me: surrounding myself with the right people. This might sound simple, but honestly, it took me a while to realize just how important this step was. I used to think that I could go it alone, that success was a solo journey. But what I learned along the way is that the people you surround yourself with play a massive role in your success. Have you ever heard the saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with? It's not just a catchy phrase, it's the truth. Think about it. If you're constantly around people who have a limited view of the world, or who aren't focused on growth, it's going to be harder for you to stay motivated and move forward. On the flip side, when you start surrounding yourself with people who push you, who challenge you to think bigger, who support your dreams, your own potential skyrockets. These are the people who will encourage you when you hit a wall, who will share opportunities you wouldn't have thought of on your own, and who will celebrate your successes as if they're their own. When I started actively seeking out mentors, people who were where I wanted to be, I began to see everything differently. I had people I could turn to for advice, for guidance, for feedback. And honestly, just knowing they believed in me gave me a huge boost of confidence to keep going. But it's not just about mentors, it's about building a network of people who uplift each other. I started connecting with other like-minded individuals who were all trying to grow and achieve big things. And let me tell you, it's contagious. There's something about being around others who are equally committed to their goals that makes you level up. I'm not saying you have to go out and find a whole new set of friends overnight, but I encourage you to be intentional about your relationships. Who are the people you spend the most time with? Are they inspiring you to be better, or are they keeping you stuck? Start thinking about how you can surround yourself with people who align with your goals and values, and you'll be amazed at the difference it makes. Now here's the thing. Surrounding yourself with the right people isn't just about getting help from others. It's also about giving back. Success is a two-way street. As you grow, you can be the person who inspires and lifts others up. When I started looking at my success as not just something to hoard, but as something to share with others, it really gave me a sense of purpose. So if you want to level up, surround yourself with those who encourage you, challenge you, and inspire you to be the best version of yourself. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. Success is so much sweeter when you have the right people beside you, celebrating your wins and helping you bounce back from the setbacks. To recap everything we've talked about so far, first, take control of your time and be intentional with how you spend it. Second, adopt a growth mindset and remember that progress is more important than perfection. Third, make consistency your daily habit. It's the small, consistent actions that compound and lead to big results. And finally, surround yourself with people who elevate you, who push you to grow, and who share your commitment to success. Remember, success isn't about one big moment. It's about the little choices you make every day that add up over time. You have the power to change your life, and it all starts with taking one step, one decision, one action at a time. I know you're capable of achieving great things, and I hope that by sharing my journey, I've shown you that it's possible. If I can do it, so can you. Keep going, stay consistent, and believe in your ability to grow. Your future self will thank you for it. And before you go, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's one thing you're going to start doing differently after hearing this? Drop a comment below. I'd love to chat with you about your journey. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos that can help you reach your goals. Stay focused, stay positive, and I'll see you in the next one.